The arena crackled with energy as the battles erupted in full force. Beak immediately set the tone, engaging the masked guy in a fierce confrontation, while the rest of the fighters dived into their respective clashes. Meanwhile, on the Japanese side, the battles were equally intense. Mei's massive strength clashed against Tanaka, delivering bone-crushing punches. Lim, faced with an opponent of near-supernatural speed, struggled to land a hit but managed to fire off projectiles in a desperate attempt to shift the fight in his favor. In another part of the arena, Bake was relentlessly pursuing his opponent, using his monstrous form to attack with ferocity. Despite his efforts, his rival managed to evade every strike. Frustrated by the lack of a decisive blow, Bake acknowledged that Kumamoto in particular was skilled at escaping direct combat. The tension was high as every move mattered, and Cha, known for her fluid and graceful movements, swiftly dispatched her opponent. But before she could intervene, a cowardly foe attempted to take her out from behind. Cha swiftly responded, hitting him with such force that he was nearly sent flying out of the arena. Just as things seemed to escalate beyond control, Jinwoo intervened, breaking up the dangerous clash and forcing Kumamoto to retreat. But Kumamoto wasn't finished yet. In a fit of fury, he turned on Jinwoo, launching a devastating attack. However, Jinwoo effortlessly countered, knocking Kumamoto down and restraining him. Goto, now thoroughly intrigued by Jinwoo's abilities, decided to test him himself, demanding that they engage in a one-on-one duel. Jinwoo, unfazed, agreed to the challenge but with a firm condition: Goto had to fight without holding back. As Goto prepared for their battle, the atmosphere grew even more charged. Goto threw a fiery punch, but Jinwoo dodged with ease, toying with his opponent. Goto, realizing that his attacks were ineffective, intensified his assault, but Jinwoo effortlessly avoided every strike. The two exchanged blows, each testing the limits of the other's power. Goto, frustrated by Jinwoo's confidence and ability to dodge his attacks, finally decided to release his full strength. A burst of fire engulfed his fist as he aimed to crush Jinwoo with a fiery blow. However, Jinwoo remained calm, blocking the strike with ease and mocking Goto's attempts. The fight reached a fever pitch as both combatants gathered their mana for a final all-out clash. The intensity of the battle was enough to shake the entire arena. Cha and Beak quickly intervened, restraining Jinwoo, while the Japanese hunters held back Goto. The audience watched in awe, realizing that this battle had escalated far beyond a mere sparring match. The outcome remained uncertain, but one thing was clear: the confrontation between Jinwoo and Goto was bound to change everything. As the Japanese guild prepared to leave, Gunny told Goto he'd send detailed information on all the hunters for the upcoming raid. Meanwhile, Jinwoo approached Gunny and asked about the Jeju Island mission. Goto, speaking with someone named Ruji on the phone, mentioned Jinwoo's reawakening to S-rank status. Ruji was surprised that Jinwoo wasn't on the raid list, and Goto was taken aback. This caught Shahed's attention, and Mr. Choi believed Jinwoo had his reasons for staying behind. Beck noted that Byung-gu was also missing from the mission. Mr. Choi reassured the group that with 15 S-rank hunters still available, victory was guaranteed. That night, Jinwoo returned home to a warm greeting from his mother and sister, who had prepared a meal. He reflected on how his mother had awoken from a coma after 4 years and realized she needed him, which is why he stayed behind. On Jeju Island, the queen ant observed her subjects beginning to devour each other due to a lack of prey. She knew she needed a stronger successor to leave the island. A creature hatched from one of her eggs, mutating into a more human-like form. It let out a terrifying scream, sending shockwaves through the air. Meanwhile, news reports revealed the flying ants were evolving rapidly, now humanoid and capable of flight, fueling public fear. In a coffee shop, Leo tried to persuade Han Songhai to stay out of the defense force, citing her low E-rank status. An announcement urgently recruited hunters to protect the country. Juhi met Song Cheol, adding to the unfolding drama. Gunhee eagerly awaited the Jeju Island raid start. As dawn broke, fleets of ships arrived near the mission site. A member of the Knights Guild questioned whether they had what it took to confront the ants. Mr. Park confidently replied they were ready. The renowned guild made a dramatic entrance by helicopter, with Mei bidding farewell to the vice master. Min Sung attracted media attention, while Lim demanded someone retreat him to prevent chaos. Even hunters with lower ranks stepped up, putting their fears aside to defend the nation. The president himself was taken aback by the sheer number of volunteers, impressed by the patriotism on display. But the biggest surprise came when Beck saw Min Byung-gu, who had previously been too afraid to fight, finally muster the courage to join the team. Now they had a rank S healer on their side, strengthening their resolve even further and giving them renewed hope that this raid could be their turning point. Meanwhile, Goto's team had already reached the island's center, giving orders for everyone to take strategic positions. A cameraman had even been dispatched with the Korean team to live-stream the entire raid, a decision that many thought would be a death sentence for the crew. The cameraman, however, shrugged off the danger, reassuring May that he had filmed in far worse places before. The attack squad was now ready, and when the president gave the signal, the fourth raid on Jeju Island commenced with overwhelming force. The Japanese hunters unleashed an immense surge of mana, pulling out the ant soldiers, while some of the flying ants targeted the helicopters directly. Mr. Choi immediately took charge, opening the hatch and raining flaming arrows and fireballs down on the swarm, clearing the sky of the deadly insects. The battle was already heating up, but the team had no choice but to press forward, fully aware that failure was not an option. With the Japanese hunters drawing the attention of the ants for an hour, the Koreans had that much time to eliminate the queen. A powerful interference signal was launched by the Japanese Navy, blocking the ants from receiving their queen's commands. Meanwhile, the female hunters engaged the swarm with swift and deadly precision, slicing through the ants that came their way. As Mr. Choi sealed the entrance to the ant nest with a massive firewall, cutting off any potential reinforcements, Beck and his team pressed on to find the tunnel that led to the queen. As they ventured deeper into the nest, they stumbled upon a chamber full of eggs, realizing that the queen had to be close. But one giant egg had already hatched, and from it emerged a terrifying creature that sent chills through the team, leaving them on edge as they prepared for the worst. It was a clear sign that the situation had escalated far beyond their expectations. Meanwhile, Tanaka, one of the hunters, had sustained a shoulder injury and asked the team's healer, Shimizu, to tend to him. However, instead of immediately offering help, she teasingly demanded something in return, which caught him off guard. Before Tanaka could respond, an ominous shift in the air occurred, tore off Shimizu's head in an instant,